If you consent to a reading by Tiamat, the mother of dragons, the Mesopotamian goddess herself from Babylon, please stay. If not, please scroll. And today I will be giving us some guidance from Tiamat herself. And I am no fortune teller, for I am a Muslim witch. Therefore, all of my readings are for self-reflective purposes only. Therefore, I'll only be pulling questions guided by the dragon symbolism of the cards for the best outcome of the collective. So, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful, what guidance does Tiamat have for us today? We have, Everberry Matriarch. I love this card because the symbolism is one of a glowing golden, almost like silver dragon. I can't really tell, but it does look like she is in a graveyard or she is with magical stones. And the sun or moon, I think it could be either, to be honest, but I think it's the sun in the back, fully glowing behind her. This imagery really provokes the sense or the essence of a woman in her full mature energy as like a mother figure, as a leader figure, as the one who nurtures and guides her community. And when this card comes up, we really have to ask ourselves, what's our relationship with the divine feminine? What's our relationship with the goddess, right? And of course, by Tiamat herself, what is our relationship with her, Tiamat herself? Especially if you are a dragon witch, a dragon soul, or a dragonkin, our relationship with Tiamat is usually quite important to us. And we also have to ask ourselves, what's my relationship to the mother goddess archetype, the earth goddess archetype, the sea goddess or star goddess archetype, right? Because these are very much themes of a woman or a matriarch in her full power. Are we afraid of embodying the matriarchal energy, right? Like, I know for me personally, speaking from personal experience, recently I've really been struggling with embodying and accepting that I'm stepping into that part of my life, which is moving from maiden into the matriarch or mother archetype, right? We kind of have three different phases within our life, you know, maiden, mother, crone, or warrior, father, sage, depending on how you identify. I know that that isn't necessarily entirely gender inclusive, but I will find a version that is, I swear to you. But my whole point is that like this transition of me moving from like being a maiden, being in my youthful energy, being in like that true youth stage, moving forward into being, no, like I'm a full grown woman now, like I have so much wisdom now after all of the like years that I've lived, and I'm ready to lead my community now, I'm ready to nurture people, I'm ready to take on students. Like this is very much like matriarchal energy. We have to ask ourselves, am I afraid of stepping into my own matriarchal energy? Am I afraid of the matriarchal roles? Do I have like fear with childbirth? What's my relationship to childbearing, right? These are things that come up, especially when we start working with Tiamat, the mother goddess. So let's pull a couple more about how do we embrace this matriarchal, how do we like embrace this matriarchal energy, this matriarchal archetype within our own lives? Let's see. We have the Philosopher. What a beautiful card. We have Saturn in the back here, heavy Saturn energy. And I just want to let everybody know that if you needed a sign to confirm your weird ideals or your abstract thinking or your spacey thoughts are valid, let this be the sign, because the Philosopher card, look at this rich green energy. Green is a color that symbolizes wealth, prosperity, abundance, health, love, connection, like true life, right? And the Saturn and the stars in the background of this dragon in a cave really symbolizes this fertile, like, stillness that happens when we are thinking about the universe, thinking about philosophy, thinking about religion and spirituality, and all of these things are really important in the dragon's path, right? And when we focus on the philosopher in the sense of, look at this dragon with a book, I don't care, man, who says what. If anyone says dragons don't like books, just unsubscribe. Because literally, look at this. Dragons hoard knowledge, dragons hoard language in particular, and in order to embrace this matriarchal energy, like, the vibe that I'm getting from Tiamat is that she wants us to ask ourselves, like, where are we getting our wisdom? Are we studying for being a leader? Are we able to sit with philosophical thinking? Are we able to sit with religious ideologies? Are we able to understand spiritual practices outside of ourselves and extract the wisdom from that and share that with our community? Because let me tell you something that we learned from Tiamat more than any of the other goddesses in particular. Because of Tiamat's story in her myth in the Enuma Elish, being the creator mother of, like, the gods, right? She also has, like, created a like army of monsters in retaliation to her husband Epsu being slain and her children being slain, because she is a mother at the end of the day, and like any good mother would do, she would defend and avenge her children who are murdered, right? And this is something that is kind of heavy energy, right? But in the sense of, like, when we connect with that energy, a huge part of what it means to be a mother and to be matriarchal is self-sacrifice. And what a lot of people don't realize within the philosopher card here is the self-sacrifice that we must take in order to be comfortable with that, like, matriarchal energy, the leading of our community, embracing the fact that, like, we're in our prime and we're able to create life and create, like, homes and things like this. It's understanding that part of that self-sacrifice is in dedicating countless hours, days, weeks, sometimes years, learning how to better care for our community, better care for our young, like our little hatchlings especially, and how to better raise the next generation. And in that acquiring of that wisdom, of that knowledge, in that process, that is such a sacred act that I really don't think people appreciate enough, is part of connecting with matriarchal energy. It's part of connecting with the goddess. It's literally, just look at elephants, like, they really embody this energy beautifully, right? Like, they are a matriarchal led, you know, community, and it is the elder elephants that are women who remember where the watering holes are and remember how they're supposed to travel the lands, and they teach that to the next, like, one in line that's also going to be a woman. So something to think about with how we connect with matriarchal energy, correct? And lastly, they're saying, look at the bottom of the deck. Yes, we have freedom, okay? Tiamat wants us to have this freedom. Look, it's you, like, you as the dragon, this iridescent rainbow glittery dragon flying towards the flowers with the light shining down and glittering flowers all around. And it seems like the moon is illuminating this dragon in the flower field at night, is what it looks like. And it's such beautiful, beautiful imagery in the sense of, what does it mean to be free to you? Tiamat really wants us to understand, what does freedom actually look like for us? Because for a lot of people, they'll say, oh, chaos is freedom. Oh, you know, the lack of religion is freedom. Oh, this, that, and the other is, like, real freedom. But you're always going to be a slave if you feel like you cannot go outside of a category or outside of a limitation, or if you feel like these certain things are just never allowed, right? You have to understand that this life is messy, and true freedom is understanding the nuance of this reality. And Tiamat wants us to understand what is your nuance, right? Like, leave me like an answer in the comments below. For those of you guys who are new, my readings are a little bit different. The questions that I ask are intuitively guided by either the deity, the dragons, or whatever we're working with in the video. And it's to make you reflect. It's to provoke, like, self-reflection, in the sense that answer the questions that I channel from this reading in the comments below, or in your own journal, right? Because that's how you're best going to, receive these readings and get the most out of them, as I have designed them with my dragon guardians. And I hope that can make more sense. But that is part of my freedom, right? Because a lot of people say that when you are Muslim, as I am Muslim, hey, hi, hello, you lose your freedom, right? But what people don't actually realize is that for many people, Islam gave them freedom. I am one of those people, right? Believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has liberated my anxiety, and I don't fear anything in this reality anymore, because I know that my fear only belongs to God now. And I'm fearless of people who judge me. I'm fearless of people who try to other me and put me in a box, because I only fear God now. And this is something that has brought me true freedom, right? And everybody's journey to freedom looks so different, because what freedom means to each of us is so different. And Tiamat really wants us to just sit and reflect and think, what does freedom mean to you? What does it look like when you are at your most free? How can you move forward embodying that freedom? And ultimately, what actions do you need to take that guarantee that freedom for you? Because we don't always get to choose our freedom, right? So that's what I have from that deck, which is from, I believe, the DragonFae Oracle. Again, all of the card decks that I'm using will be linked down below if you're interested in getting any of the decks that I used in this video today for Tiamat. Next, I will be using, what's it called? The Wild Unknown Alchemy by Kim Kranz. I love this deck. It is beautiful. We have these square cards. Square cards. These hexagon cards. Okay, so we're just gonna see, Tiamat, what do we need to focus on to transform ourselves? Let's see. We have Scintille, or the Sparks of Light, which is one of my favorite cards. It's so stunning. And then we have Furum or Iron. And something that I think is really important coming from Tiamat in relation to iron, for those of you guys who are unaware, the element iron is an element on the periodic table of elements, but it is not native to Mother Earth. It is a element that is completely from the heavens or the stars. So when I say that in my practice, I view Tiamat as the personification of all of creation, and she is the representation of the heavens and earth symbolically. All that means is that everything that you see in this reality, in created reality, is Tiamat's body, okay? This is simply how I view reality. This is just my own way of engaging with it. And when I view reality this way, with all of creation being Tiamat, we see iron being an element from the stars as a gift from Tiamat, right? At least it can be symbolically seen as part of a dragon element, right? And then the Sparks of Light, I want everybody to understand that we work with Tiamat to embrace our chaos, right? It's the symbolism of chaos, and in that darkness, when you strike iron on iron, you get sparks of light, okay? And this is the vision that I'm getting holding these two cards, is literally this, actually. Holding these two cards, I'm seeing this darkness and sparking the iron that represents heavenly gifts or celestial gifts that you were given by God, goddess, anything, right? Or Tiamat herself, that's what it represents, right? And you in that darkness, you sparking those gifts together, you striking those gifts together is what brings you that freedom, right? That's kind of this vision that I'm getting holding these cards. And the question I need to ask you now is, do you make wishes on shooting stars? Do you believe in magic? Do you think that you are capable of illumination? Do you think you are able to be enlightened? Do you think that you are on a path that you are proud of? Are you trying to find your light in others, or are you taking the time to go within yourself and finding that light truly? Do you appreciate the gifts from outside of this world. There's so many things in this world that don't come from this world, just like iron, right? Like gold is another one. And you are also the golden light that needs to ignite to bring about a better life. Like, you want a better life. We all want a better life. That's what it means to be human. That's nothing hidden here, okay? No one's making anything up, all right? Like, I'm just calling it as I see it. And ultimately, in order to alchemize ourselves into the reality that we truly desire, I see this vision of Tiamat asking us to sit in our darkness. And she asks us, are you afraid of the dark? Are you afraid of glowing in the dark? Are you afraid of what you might attract when you truly illuminate yourself in your space? Like, are you afraid of what's hidden within your heart? Is that why you won't go within to light up, right? Like, these are things that we absolutely have to ask ourselves, especially if we're looking for freedom, because true freedom is asking ourselves the hardest questions. Bum. Okay? And that is what I'm getting from this particular deck, which I love. And lastly, we will be using, I believe this is called Mermaid's Melodies, this deck by Jessica Lee, one of my favorite decks for like messages from the mermaids. And with Tiamat here, what are some messages that we can remember when on this pursuit of shadow work, this pursuit of understanding our inner chaos, to reaching our freedom that we desire, like truly reaching that freedom that we desire. And let's see what we got here. Number one, we have self-care. Drowning doesn't always require water, okay? And basically, we have to ask ourselves, number one, what's our relationship to water? Are we afraid of the bathtub? Are we afraid of brushing our teeth? Do we struggle with showering? Hey, there's no shame here, okay? Like, I know a lot of neurodivergent people watch my content, and I want you to understand that, like, many of us struggle with bathing and with personal hygiene, and it's because it's a sensory overload, and it really overstimulates us, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But I need you to understand how important it is for your health and your well-being, and especially for those that love you and care about you too, to take care of yourself, to make sure that you shower even when it's hard, to push yourself to brush your teeth every day, and to just do the things that are uncomfortable, like brushing our hair and, you know, taking care of our skin and making sure that all of our body parts are clean and healthy. Like, this is really important. And if you struggle with this, something that I do that really helps is I take care of my body in certain ways to honor my goddesses, like Tiamat, for example. Tiamat and Aphrodite and Melusina are in particular the goddesses that I work with my self-care. But in particular, today's reading with Tiamat, I have this bath time ritual that I do every morning and every night, where I meditate in the bathtub with just a little bit of like hot water, like very little, like this much in the tub, surrounded by candlelight, and I really just focus on connecting with Tiamat and what I need to know from my mother goddess, right? So please, please, please focus on the self-care. We have to ask ourselves, what are we doing? How are we drowning ourselves? Are we drowning ourselves by avoiding water too, right? Like, next we have breathe, break from beneath the water's surface and soar up beyond the turquoise sea. Again, I'm getting a huge push for freedom within this reading today. I'm not sure if that is something that you've been struggling with, if you feel like you've been oppressed recently, or you feel like you can't express yourself freely or be who you really are. That's a really horrible thing to experience, and I'm getting the sense that in today's reading, Tiamat really wants us to focus on our relationship with freedom and ask ourselves, how can I be more free today? How can I allow myself more space, more freedom to breathe freely, to show up in a way that I am proud, that I like to be, right? And how can I allow myself to come out of the dark depths of my own chaotic oceans of emotions, breach the surface, and fly in the sky in a way that has never been done before, not only by me, but by anyone? How can you do that? That is something that I feel like Tiamat really wants to see us express ourselves freely in that sense. And lastly, rescue, help others in need or ask for assistance when you need it, right? Like, Ultimately, Tiamat reminds us that we are her hatchlings, in the sense of we are a family, we are a social species, and we do need to look out for each other. Her story is heavy about looking after family and taking care of each other in relational bonds, and how when that, you know, struggles, like those bonds become fractured or severed or strained, that it can completely ruin like happiness and family and being connected to each other. And we don't want that. We don't want that for ourselves. So we have to ask ourselves, where do I need rescue, right? Like, where do I need help? Where am I struggling? Where can I ask for help? And how can I handle it when people ultimately reject me? Or how can I handle it when people try to help me and it's not the help that I need? How can I still not get angry? Like, how can I accept the help that I'm given when it's exactly what I need, and gratitude, and not feel like I'm not worthy, because I am worthy of help and assistance? And also, how can I help my community? How can I get more involved in protecting what's precious? Like, how can I help the little hatchlings who need me? Like, how can I literally take care of my community and my environment? And, you know, within my own heart, how can I help my family and my friends and my coworkers? And how can I just show up and be a better, like, team player, right? That's ultimately kind of the message that I'm getting from Tiamat for today's reading. But thank you so much for tuning in for today's reading. I hope you loved it. Please know that I will never message you for a reading, so please don't get scammed. And I will never like comment or advertise my readings on your videos or anything like that, so please don't get scammed. If you want a reading from me, the only way to get one is via my Etsy shop at the Hatchling Hollow, or Hatchling Hollow, whatever you want to call it. And it is down below in the links. And again, that is the only way to get a reading from me personally. I will not message you for one, okay? So glad we could get that out of the way. But thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you're new here, assalamu alaikum, merry meet, and welcome back to your daily dose, your double daily dose of DragonFaether. My name is Azura DragonFaether, the Draconic Priestess, and I've been working with dragons since the 90s, and here I'm bringing you the messages daily because we need that dragon guidance now more than ever in this world. So if you like more dragon tarot readings like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow. But until next time, stay geeky chicka Afriki, a little hatchlings. But Gadafis, blessed be, and Amin. And please follow me so I don't get lost.